Please subscribe to the Isle of Man TV archive channel. Thank you.
Mr. Pollinger, the result shows that there is support for industrial action at the Isle of Man Post Office. Your comments on that?
Well, I think interestingly, this is a secret ballot conducted, people voting in the privacy of their own home, a 4-week period for them to come to what is an extremely serious decision, an opportunity for them to process the facts and the arguments of each side, as it were, to consider the debate that's taking place in the media, and the fact that there's such a huge yes vote should really demonstrate to people that there is a fundamental problem in the Isle of Man Post Office with the current situation, and what it requires, in our opinion, is a high-level meeting involving representatives from the government, from the Post Office Board, and obviously ourselves, the Communication Workers Union, to now sit down and seriously consider the solution options that are open to us.
A fundamental problem, you're saying? Are you saying with the management that you can't negotiate with them?
Well, I think what's become evident with the level of people that have become involved in the debate in the last 4 weeks via the media, i.e. the Chief Minister and different MHKs, the Post Office Chairman. When this commenced, we was constantly being told it was an issue between the CWU and the executive negotiating team of the Isle of Man Post Office. I believe it's evident now that that group never had the authority to come up with solutions to this particular problem, and as a consequence, we are where we are. It also, it's also a pretty compelling concern for the membership that we offered to go to the Post Office Board, offered to go to representatives of government before this became an immediate issue, before a ballot was requested, and more crucially, offered to go to arbitration to avoid a ballot, and all those avenues were closed to us. So, that's either people not wishing to have a mature and open, intelligent debate about the problem, and it's come across, I think, as arrogance and dogma. And I think we need to prove to people that we can put that to one side and have some serious dialogue. I'm convinced we could find a solution.
You're saying basically you don't know who is handling these negotiations?
Well, I think, at the very start of it, if you was to research the different contributions made in the different forms of media over the last 4 weeks since the ballot was requested, we had a starting point where management was saying that, and the chairman of the Post Office Board, that the Isle of Man Post Office Board had autonomy and effectively they could make an agreement if they want to. And if you look at the most latest comments, it's clearly that they've been told they've got to adhere to the public sector policy of a pay freeze. So we've moved from not being held to that policy to being held to that policy. We've moved from not having an agreement in 2009 to having an agreement in 2009. We've moved to managers not having a pay rise to the admission that managerial grades have enjoyed a pay rise. So all these issues have come out in the last 4 weeks. There's a fundamental problem which needs independent and open minds to look at this situation and try and find the potential solutions for this genuine grievance.
And have you any idea what the solution so far is likely to be on this? I mean, have your members got that will to actually have industrial action, do you think?
Well, I mean, it was the biggest test that you can have of people's anger or frustration with the situation is a secret ballot. That's why the law was changed to that effect. As an analogy, people would say perhaps it is easier to have a meeting with a membership, rally them in a speech and get them to vote yes, a show of hands on the day. That's not how these things are done anymore. People have got a perfect opportunity to listen to both sides of the argument and then come down on one side or the other. Now they've done that. Now there's been substantial effort by the employer to convince people why they should vote no. Now clearly that's not succeeded. There are big problems there. There should be a way of people being rewarded, and there should be a way of doing that with inside the decisions being taken by the Isle of Man government to react to the economic situation of the day. But at the end of the piece, the Post Office continues to be profitable. It continues to deliver excellent quality of service. The employees have been thanked, and the success both the chairman and the chief executive acknowledge that that's down to the people who perform that work, and there should be other ways to reward those people other than just a verbal thank you.
You have another pay option going in shortly, I believe. So, I mean, are you looking now to do a deal on both of them in one go to sort it all out once and for all?
Well, that may prove to be part of the potential solution, Paul, but you make the point which is exactly right. Our pay awards are discussed on an annual basis, unless at any time we make a 2-year pay agreement. The 2009 was a 1-year deal, so we submitted a claim in 2010. We haven't resolved that issue yet. We've now submitted our 2011 claim. These things won't go away. That's why it needs a high-level meeting to determine the best way to approach the future, maintain the morale and the high performance of post office workers, because the more successful the post office is, the larger its profits, the bigger contribution we give back to government. Let's not forget, the Isle of Man Post Office doesn't take any money from government whatsoever. Indeed, this year, 50% of its profits went into the government coffers, as it were, as well as 2 million from the Isle of Man Post Office reserves. We're contributing to the situation, we're definitely helping, we are not taking any money out, but to maintain that type of performance, people need to be motivated and rewarded, and I think that's the same in any industry, and that is a basic business logic.
Finally then, to make it absolutely clear to everyone, you will be looking for a monetary increase for your postal worker union people here in the Isle of Man. Nothing less will do.
No, we're not prepared to put parameters that will stop any potential imagination or solution coming on the table. We want to talk about a solution which demonstrates to our people that they're being rewarded for their efforts, and also positions us for the next year and the year after that, if necessary. We cannot just have this position where a bland policy is put in front of us, the door slammed in our face, and effectively, because a pay freeze has been announced for next year as well, people are just meant to accept that. If there's a genuine debate to be had, an intelligent analysis of the performance of the company, and the just reward for the people that are maintaining that performance, that's the type of dialogue we want. We have been denied that from day one, and our case for that now is stronger than ever because we have the absolute clear backing of our membership.
Thanks for watching. Please help support Modern Manx history and keep this channel going.